Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very nifty PlayStation 6 news, as well in tandem with the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you guys probably know, the PlayStation 6 is now again slowly getting rumors and slowly is in the works and will eventually come on out. Thankfully, if you guys are trying to get a PS5 Pro or just got one, it's not that close. But right now, we're kind of seeing the future of the PlayStation, the console, and basically what we can go and expect in the future and what the PlayStation 6 is kind of working towards. Because we already, like I said, have heard rumors on the PlayStation 6, where they have a few new big contracts being ran on out, and we're seeing some business leaks, so we know it's probably in the works. And like I said, some people are kind of curious to see, like, are the marginal increases enough? What's going to be the big reason for the PlayStation 6? And as well, just a lot of little random stuff. So I'm going to go highlight over here something from Digital Foundry, which is kind of basically talking about that fact in the first place. Now, they've actually had a chance to go at the PS5 Pro in hand and in-house. We actually reacted to it as of yesterday, if you guys want to check out that video. And it seems cool. There has been some pretty big graphical improvements, really good for filling in like facial effects, beards, or I don't know, like just random things like on the ground. And overall, it seems like it is a pretty big improvement. Graphically, you can see it, and although it's a little bit more of like a fine-tuned background, cleaning up everything and running at 60 FPS, some people, that's exactly what they want. But when it comes to PlayStation 6, we're probably going to want a little bit more. It's a mainstay console, and well, that's going to go talk about this video. So subscribe if you guys want to. We have the PS5 Pro giveaway going on, so follow the Twitter, the Twitches, and all that good stuff down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channels. Make sure you guys are entered on in, and of course, let's go dive into the video itself. So as I mentioned, it's a nice little blog over here discussing, well, the PS5 Pro, PS6, and what's going to be changing, and all this other various stuff. They're saying, too, I want to highlight their astute point that they made themselves. If they were invested in the PlayStation console, you might go and skip the PS5 Pro, but you're most likely going to get a PS6. The arrival of the enhanced machine is likely very good news for you, and well, it's just a nice upgrade to kind of see like what might be coming in the future. So saying, let's rewind to the launch of the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. A fundamental aspect of their appeal was the fact that your existing library of games would carry forward to the new hardware. Microsoft made their plans clear to fans, but the message from PlayStation was confused, and yet ultimately PS5 backwards compatibility basically was pretty good as Xbox as well. So that's kind of the big topic over here, saying we lost the worst generation to lose. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. He said, I see a lot of pundits out there who want to go back to the time where like cartridges and disc and every new generation was a clean slate. I don't like the clean slate thing, but I do always like the idea of cartridges and disc, just to go and say that myself. But there's one over here too, there was like a big commonality with it, when they're supposed to have backwards compatibility and make sure the PS4 can still be running PS4 Pro games, which is leaning towards why the PS5 Pro exists. And then also the same thing for the Series X, they just threw in the S instead, a little bit of a switch up, but they can kind of make sense logically, like people are kind of cool with that. But as of right there, a lot of people are curious because the PS4 was pretty good in the Pro version, and some people were even curious enough the jump was warranted enough to get the PS5. I would say yes so far, and so far the PS5 Pro is like, if you're rich, sure, go for it. That's kind of the vibe. But this is where the kind of the article and the vibe that gets a little more interesting. Like, it kind of leads up towards, yeah, the PS4 and PS5 Pro should be relevant, but we also need to have a really big jump between the PS5 and PS6, which I agree with. So one can imagine that the same thing will happen again with the PlayStation 6. It will take all the upgrades from PS5 Pro and offer the same kind of cumulative improvements. Well, we would hope so. The idea does rely somewhat on a robust form of backwards compatibility that allows for all the power of the new machine to be deployed in older games. So taking a look at the PS5 Pro's game boost mode for older titles, is there going to be an indicative of whether or not that'll be possible? So basically looking at the PS5, we'll be going towards the PS6 to see like what they're going to focus on and work on. Once again, that's why I'm bringing up the AI. That's probably the biggest point. So if you're wondering why there's any doubt here, the PS4's Pro boost mode was only a small improvement, while the PS5 mirrored certain elements of the PS4 Pro's architecture, which may have made enhanced performance more easy to obtain. So kind of utilizing the pros, kind of like how iPhone has like the Pro version to test out their next feature, and the next feature is more of the mainstay one. They know it's going to sell better, but they want to make sure it's good. So right now they're kind of saying like the PS5 Pro is going to be one that like next middle ground tester, most likely with AI, ray tracing, and also these various different game resolutions to make that a very standard practice. So you can go have a 200 frame rate game, or you can go and have a 60 frame rate game or 30 frame rate game. Then you can kind of choose up your resolution, kind of how PC already has. I feel like that's going to be the next big major marketing point. It's pretty normal as of now, but if it's fully there and testable with various tiers of consoles, it makes a lot of sense. So saying the PS5 Pro does not have as many commonalities though on brand new stuff. The first order of business will be to test Elden Ring. which is unlocked frame rate across all modes, and the boosts are in line with the 45% increase in performance mooted by Sony for the GPU, makes the chances of the future PlayStation horror being able to do likewise more viable. Basically saying the PS6 then would most likely have very good upgrades, at least 45% if that's the standard. There's one aspect of how a PS5 Pro may benefit people who aren't actually going to buy the console. So this is like the good stuff here. We're moving on to it. Like, you know, better versions of the games you own in the years to come. So then you go to get a PS6 and all of your other prior games will be running way better, way more graphics if you want to revisit them. But I still like to see new games though. So now we need to look at the overall strategic advantages for Sony to even do this, you know, even make a new console and like ones that actually be worth it. On the face of it, the idea of releasing a $700 console doesn't sound like a particularly good idea, though, in their opinion. However, the Pro innovates in the console space in a way that's essential for the machine hardware to come. The combination of CPU and GPU is now joined by machine learning silicon, which is why I keep on bringing this up in the first place. It seems like AI, for them to integrate AI into the next generation, is what they really want to do. Make the PS6 phenomenal and have it have like years upon years and like millions upon millions of different games and instances or whatever to optimize the PlayStation 6 to make that console beautiful. This is like the big, what we're kind of leading up towards in this article, is that the PS6 is going to be goated because all this AI technology is probably going to go to work and go to town and start learning. AI takes a while to learn, but as AI gets better, it starts booming, which is kind of crazy to see. So the PS5 Pro has demonstrated the opportunities to increase console performance and features by simply producing faster, more complex CPUs and GPUs is over. Basically saying the diminishing returns of, say, things like graphics and maybe even GPU, CPUs, rendering and coding, ray tracing is not the biggest deal anymore. And kind of the same thing for PC. Now, I disagree, though. We still have a few more generations, maybe like one or two, because there is a lot of various things like, say, facial features that look wonky and game physics engines and all of that, but it is getting up there. Like, I mean, maybe the PS7 or PS8 might get that point, but that's still quite a few years away. And what if we introduce more things like AR, VR, and stuff like that to make it a little bit different? Anyway, so saying for a $100 price premium, Sony doubled the size of the PS4 GPU and making the PS4 Pro. Today with the PS5 Pro, though, a $250 price premium, well, it cannot do the same, and it's actually even a lower ratio. So Sony is achieving similar, if not outright superior results by just adding machine learning silicone and amplifying graphics via AI hardware, which is once again what they're going to try to go and use all this information to make the PS6 even better. It has also allowed Sony to add in enhanced ray tracing capabilities too as well, which is not really you would expect to be good at. I can tell you right now that whatever consoles come from Sony and indeed Microsoft next, they will be following a similar strategy at the base architect level. Cost per transistor is not what it was, and that basically means, like, you know, like semiconductors and all these various things are going to keep on going down and down and down over time. But at the same time, it's still relevant, and to make it better and better and better, it's going to cost more and more and more. It's going to get bigger. So think like how you have like the NVIDIA 5000 series, they just cost more money, they're more expensive, more intrinsicate, like uses more electricity, it's better, like more hardware to make it work. So there's a lot of like cost and benefit analysis on both ends. So they're basically saying gigantic increases in the size of the GPU, especially, are unlikely to happen, though, thankfully. But with AI, we're not only now just beginning on how we can fine-tune every information. As proven time and time again by NVIDIA's innovations in the space, machine learning hardware offers a gigantic return on investment. But getting to where NVIDIA is now requires two things, though: investment and patience. So once again, you have to invest the time to get your PlayStation 6 console and let it start cooking. Let it start getting this AI, which is meant to be this next generation of console and make everything better. And that's why I think everyone's more intrigued on it. Cautiously optimistic, because we haven't seen too much crazy AI integration that's been so well. We've always had AI in terms of like NPCs, but still it's crazy to go and see. So anyway, the high level for this is that the PS6 will have a really big sample size of GPU encoding, ray tracing, PSSR, AI integration, and as well with the next few years, this is what they have to focus on. They can't really focus on having crazy better GPU, CPUs, because all the specs are really good. Now more, and also they get really big, and like people want those small, tight things like an iPhone. So it's really, really crazy to go and see this. Saying, looking at the criticisms of the PS5 Pro today, I'm reminded that a massive backlash against NVIDIA's 2000 series products based on the Turing architecture in 2018. I kind of remember this, I think. The products were pricey, nobody bought into the AI narrative, and ray tracing was derided, but it's like one of the most important things right now in gaming. And yet today, DLSS upscaling has proven to be one of the most transformative technologies in the PC space, a desired feature for users and coveted by the competition. Ray tracing with smart technological innovations and immersive level investment in software like R-Stir and strategic partnerships with key game makers, NVIDIA brought actual path tracing to AAA games as well. So basically with all this stuff, they actually had a chance to make it happen, even though people didn't think and believe in that, which is why NVIDIA is probably one of the more bigger companies in the entire planet right now. None of this happened overnight, and yet NVIDIA has now effectively defined the direction of the travel for graphics innovation, and consoles need to catch up. And that's where PS5 Pro comes in. Sony has taken a smart path here, delivering the custom silicone required where AMD did not seem to have any, while at the same time developing the PSSR on the software side, which is still amazing. We've now been eyes on with the PSSR across a range of games, and while there's still work to be done in improving it, it's a big leap beyond existing upscaling solutions. But we shouldn't forget that the machine learning hardware isn't just a fixed function AI upscaling block, big use for all manner of tasks. PSSR delivers the biggest bang for the buck, but it's only just beginning, and once again, as I keep saying, that is the big deal. So the PlayStation 6 is going to get the ball rolling for the PlayStation, or PS5 Pro is going to get the ball rolling for the PlayStation 6, and this AI stuff is going to start getting nutty. So very fun stuff to go and see. Now we're going to have to go and see too, because Microsoft is trying their own, and the Switch 2 is going to have some intriguing NVIDIA stuff, but it's probably going to be as strong as the PS6 as well. So give me your thoughts and comments. A lot of AI talk just basically says the future of the AI is going to be, there's a lot of machine learning and going from the best to make the PS6 even better. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. We have the Twitter and Twitch room as well down below, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Subscribe for the giveaways too, all down below.